When it comes to pigeons, people tend to have very mixed opinions. Some see them as little more than flying rats because of the diseases they can carry and the mess they sometimes leave behind, while others are fascinated by their remarkable ability to navigate over long distances and find their way home. But there is another reason why people admire these birds: their incredible appearance. For centuries, humans have selectively bred the domesticated descendants of the rock dove, changing their appearance and behavior to suit our needs for food, entertainment, and simply aesthetic appeal. And while the most spectacular pigeons are often associated with fancy breeds kept in captivity, there are also wild pigeons with colors, patterns, and shapes that can rival some of the most beautiful birds on Earth. So this time, let's take a closer look at 10 of the most beautiful wild pigeons in the world. The crested pigeon is found widely across mainland Australia and is easily recognized by the long, pointed crest rising from the top of its head. Originally associated with the drier inland regions of the continent, this adaptable pigeon has benefited from many of the landscape changes brought about by European settlement. Over the past few decades, it has become increasingly common, even around major coastal cities such as Sydney and Melbourne, where it can often be seen in open areas searching for food. During the breeding season, males perform an impressive display flight before courting females with a characteristic bowing display. The combination of its elegant crest, patterned wings, and distinctive behavior makes the crested pigeon one of Australia's most recognizable pigeons. Endemic to the island of Luzon in the Philippines, the Luzon bleeding heart pigeon is perhaps one of the most unusual-looking pigeons in the world. Its name comes from the striking reddish-orange patch on its white breast, which creates the remarkable illusion that blood is flowing down from its chest. The effect is so distinctive that the bird is also known locally as Paloma de Punalada, a name that translates roughly to stabbed pigeon. Unfortunately, this extraordinary appearance has also made the species attractive to people who capture birds for the pet trade. But the greatest threat facing the Luzon bleeding heart pigeon is habitat loss and fragmentation, particularly as forests are cleared for timber extraction and agriculture. As of 2016, the species was classified as near threatened on the IUCN Red List, making the protection of its remaining forest habitat especially important. Deep within the primary rainforests of New Guinea and nearby islands lives the pheasant pigeon, a large ground-dwelling bird whose appearance is remarkably different from that of most other pigeons. Its laterally compressed tail and rounded wings give it an appearance somewhat reminiscent of a pheasant. And this resemblance is especially interesting because New Guinea has no native galliform birds, meaning the pheasant pigeon has effectively occupied an ecological role similar to that of a partridge or small pheasant. This is an extremely secretive species that spends much of its time on the forest floor, where it searches for seeds and fallen fruits. It also nests on the ground, beneath trees and bushes. Because all four subspecies tend to avoid human settlements, surprisingly little is known about their behavior in the wild, with much of what scientists know coming from observations of birds kept in zoos. Found from the Thai Malay Peninsula through Indonesia, the little green pigeon is the smallest member of the green pigeon group. Like many beautifully colored birds, the males and females look noticeably different. Males have a striking orange neck patch that fades into yellow on the underside, along with a rich maroon mantle, while females lack these distinctive colors. Like other fruit-eating pigeons, this species frequently gathers around fruiting trees in subtropical and tropical moist lowland forests, where abundant food can attract several birds at once. Despite its relatively restricted habitat requirements, the little green pigeon has a large overall range and has not experienced a significant population decline. Because of this, it is currently classified as least concern by the IUCN. Native to Australia, the spinifex pigeon is a small but remarkably attractive bird, best known for its distinctive long crest and beautifully patterned wings and tail. These feathers are especially important during courtship, when the birds use their appearance as part of their displays to potential mates. But living in Australia's harsh interior comes with another challenge: extreme heat. Spinifex pigeons are relatively weak flyers and are commonly found in arid, rocky environments, often staying close to creek beds and other sources of water where they can escape some of the worst conditions. Researchers have discovered several physiological adaptations that work together to give these birds an impressive tolerance for high temperatures. For one thing, they drink large amounts of water throughout the day, which is particularly important because their main food, including spinifex grass seeds, contains very little moisture. They also produce relatively little body heat and have a high rate of non-evaporative heat loss, allowing them to release heat without losing excessive amounts of water through evaporation. Despite living in such an extreme environment, the spinifex pigeon remains relatively secure. It is currently classified as least concern on the IUCN Red List, and important parts of its habitat are protected within several national parks. Native to the New Guinea region, the Victoria crowned pigeon is one of the largest and most spectacular pigeons in the world. This enormous bluish-grey bird is instantly recognizable by its elegant blue crest, delicate white-tipped feathers, rich maroon breast, and striking red eyes. Its overall appearance is so elaborate that it almost looks more like a pheasant than a pigeon. And once again, the absence of native galliform birds in New Guinea helps explain why these large crowned pigeons have occupied an ecological role similar to that of large pheasants. Of the 4 species of crowned pigeons found in the region, the Victoria crowned pigeon stands out for its particularly impressive crest and white-tipped feathers. Unfortunately, its beauty has also contributed to the pressures it faces. Although the species is legally protected, illegal hunting and demand from the Southeast Asian pet trade continue to threaten wild populations. Because of these pressures, the Victoria crowned pigeon is currently classified as near threatened by the IUCN. Found throughout Southeast Asia, the pink-necked green pigeon is a brilliantly colored, tree-dwelling species that has proven surprisingly adaptable to human-altered environments. Unlike many birds that decline when forests are replaced by cities and developed areas, this pigeon has been able to take advantage of some of the changes to its habitat. It has even moved into urban environments and is now common in protected areas of Singapore, where its numbers have been increasing over time. Its beautiful combination of green plumage and pink coloration makes it particularly easy to recognize, especially when several birds gather in trees. The species does face hunting pressure in parts of its range and is sometimes targeted by the cage bird trade. Nevertheless, it remains common across much of its distribution and is currently classified as least concern on the IUCN Red List. Found across East Asia and southward to Thailand, the white-bellied green pigeon is the only regularly occurring green pigeon found in mainland East Asia. This species is primarily associated with temperate and subtropical forests, where it feeds on fruits and other plant material. But one of its most unusual behaviors is something that happens along coastlines. White-bellied green pigeons have been observed gathering in flocks to drink seawater. Scientists believe this unusual behavior may be connected to their diet, particularly the consumption and digestion of fruit, although the exact reason for drinking salt water is not completely understood. Despite being classified as least concern by the IUCN, the species has become relatively uncommon in parts of its range, including China, and populations have declined in Japan. Native to New Zealand, the kereru, or New Zealand pigeon, is one of the country's most spectacular native birds. It has a brilliant white breast, combined with iridescent green and blue plumage across its head, back, and wings, creating a striking contrast that becomes even more impressive when the bird catches the light. The kereru can be found in a wide variety of habitats throughout New Zealand and feeds primarily on fruit, although it also consumes leaves and flowers. Because of its ability to swallow relatively large fruits, it plays an important role in dispersing the seeds of native plants. Although the species remains widespread and can even be found in urban environments, its numbers have declined significantly since European colonization, largely because of introduced mammals such as rats, stoats, and possums. There is, however, some encouraging news. Nationwide bird surveys have recorded significant recovery in kereru populations in some suburban areas. As of 2022, the IUCN Red List classified the species as least concern, while New Zealand's Department of Conservation considers the kereru not threatened, but conservation dependent. Native to the Nicobar Islands in the Indian Ocean, as well as nearby islands and coastal regions of Southeast Asia, the Nicobar pigeon is one of the most spectacular pigeons on Earth. Unlike the typical city pigeon, this bird spends much of its time on the ground, and it is immediately recognizable by the extraordinary feathers trailing down from its neck. Its body can reach around 16 inches in length, making it one of the largest living pigeons. But the Nicobar pigeon's importance goes beyond its appearance. It is considered the closest living relative of the extinct dodo, making it a fascinating surviving link to a very different chapter of pigeon evolution. The species was once abundant across parts of its range, but wild populations have declined as the birds have been hunted for food and captured for the pet trade. Because it often inhabits remote islands and coastal areas, it is also vulnerable to habitat disturbance and other pressures. Today, this magnificent bird is classified as near threatened on the IUCN Red List.